The MC businesses are currently double money and double production speed this week, so today I'm going to share with you how to make $5 million a day with them as a solo player in GTA Online. Now, of course, the first thing you're going to need to do is get an MC clubhouse, and there are quite a few all around the map, but I would suggest going with one that's closer to your other businesses. Although at the end of the day, location doesn't really matter. Once you have the clubhouse, you could then head over to the computer in the clubhouse, and from there you could buy all of the MC businesses. Now, there are 5 different businesses you could buy, but there's only 4 that are worth your time and 4 that I would suggest buying, and even amongst those 4, some are better than the rest. The best MC business is the Coke Lockup, the second best is the Crystal Lab, the third best is the Counterfeit Cash Factory, and the 4th best is the Grass Farm. If you want to make $5 million a day, you're going to have to get all 4, and location doesn't matter, so pick out the cheapest ones possible. But now that we have the MC Clubhouse and the MC businesses, we could now talk about how we make money with these businesses. So the way they work is you purchase or steal supplies. Over time, those supplies get turned into product in the background for you, and then you could later sell that product for a profit. The beauty of these businesses is all you have to do is get the supplies. The workers of the business will then make the supplies into product for you, so you could go do a heist, you could do missions, you could race against friends, or you could even go AFK, and during that time, the supplies will then turn into product. And then all you have to do at the very end is the final sell mission, which aren't the most fun to do, but they are pretty easy. Now, in order to make the most amount of money with the businesses, you're also going to need to get the equipment and staff upgrade for each, which will cost some extra money. Getting both upgrades for each business will allow you to then purchase supplies every single time and be as profitable and as efficient as possible. Now, for the sell missions, you could have 1 to 4 sell vehicles depending on how much stock you have in the MC business. And although you might not want to do this normally, for this week I would suggest selling only when the business is completely full or near full, because it will save you time. Now, some of these sell missions can take quite some time to complete or can be difficult to complete. So if you get one that you don't like, you could always load into a new session. You will lose some product, but the sell mission or the sell vehicles will have reset, so you may get a better sell mission. But now that we know which MC businesses to buy, which upgrades we need, and how we should be selling this week, let's now talk about each business individually and how much money they can make. So the first business we'll talk about is the Coke Lockup, and as I said before, this is the best MC business. Now, it takes 2.5 batches of supplies to completely fill up the stock bar, and because production is double speed this week, it will only take 2 hours and 30 minutes to completely fill up. In total, you'll be spending $187,500 on supplies to completely fill up the lockup, but you will be able to sell the lockup this week because it is double money for just over $1 million, meaning you can profit just over $800,000 this week with the Coke lockup in 2.5 hours time. Moving on to the second best MC business, we have the Crystal Lab, and similar to the Coke lockup, it's going to take just under 2.5 batches of supplies in order to fully fill up the stock bar, and it will take just over 3 hours for it to fully fill up. In total, you're spending approximately $185,000 on supplies, and you'll be able to sell it because it's double money once again this week for just under $900,000, meaning the Crystal Lab can net you roughly $650,000 in profit this week every 3 hours or so. Next, we have the Counterfeit Cash Factory, and this time it's only going to take 2 batches of supplies to completely fill up, and it will take just over 2.5 hours to do so. In total, you'll have to spend $150,000 on supplies, but you'll be able to sell the full Counterfeit Cash Factory for $735,000, meaning you'll be able to profit roughly $550,000 in just under 3 hours with the Counterfeit Cash Factory this week. And finally, we have the Grass Farm. This time, it's only going to take 1.5 batches of supplies roughly to completely fill up the stock bar, and that will take just over 2.5 hours to do. You'll have to spend approximately $112,500 on supplies, and you could sell the full Grass Farm for just over $600K, meaning you could profit just under $500,000 in just over 2.5 hours this week with the Grass Farm. So as you can see, the MC businesses are extremely profitable this week, and is why they might be the best money method this week to run. Because it is a combination of double money and double production speed, they are essentially making quadruple money every single hour, which is nuts. Now, if you decide to run all 4 of those MC businesses all at the same time, you have the equipment and staff upgrade for each, you buy supplies for each. In total, you're going to be spending just under $650,000 on supplies but you will be selling over $3 million worth of stock. And that's assuming you're selling only in invite-only sessions, meaning roughly every 3 hours you could make $2.5 million of pure profit with the MC businesses this week. And so if you just do that process twice, you fill up all the MC businesses and sell them, and then do that one more time each day, you can easily make $5 million selling in invite-only sessions. And if you do decide to sell in public lobbies with 20 or more people and get that 50% high demand bonus, you can make up to $7.5 million every 6 hours, which is crazy. Now, of course, spending 6 hours a day on the game is unrealistic for most people, so there is one trick you could use that will require you to put in less time but still get the same amount of money, and that is going AFK. Now, for those of you who may not know what going AFK means, it's essentially a way to trick the game into thinking you're still playing the game while you're actually not. And so because of that, your MC businesses will continue to produce product while you're actually away from the game, whether you be sleeping, at work, at school, or even just doing something else. Now, there are a couple different ways to go AFK right now, but my favorite is to go to an apartment, head over to a TV while you're in a public lobby, and spectate other players. Just so long as you're spectating other players or you're in that spectator screen, you will not be kicked out of the session, and therefore the entire time that you're spending in spectator mode, your businesses are actually producing product. Now, of course, in order to be as efficient as possible, you will have to come back to the game and make sure to resupply every business roughly every hour or so. But aside from that, you could walk away for the other 59 minutes and you'll be fine. Just make sure before going AFK that you disband as an MC president and as a CEO, so none of your businesses are raided, and make sure you get the text from LJT telling you your supplies have arrived. If you go AFK without getting that text, the businesses will not produce any product. But with that being said, here's a quick recap or rundown on how you have to run the businesses to make that $5 million a day. So first, you're going to need all 4 of those businesses and buy supplies for each. Make sure you get the text that the supplies have arrived, and then you could go AFK. After about an hour of going AFK, come back and buy supplies for every business again, and then go AFK for another hour. After going AFK for an hour, come back and buy supplies for every business once again for the final time, and then go AFK for 1 more hour. At the end of that 3rd hour of being AFK, all of your MC businesses should be full or very close to full, and then you could sell them all for just over $3 million, making you roughly $2.5 million profit. And then to make $5 million, all you have to do is repeat that cycle 1 more time. It's a very low effort money grind, but for those of you who want to maximize things even more, one thing that could help you with the resupplies is making sure to have the master control terminal in your arcade. This is essentially a supercomputer where you could access each one of the MC business computers all from one central location, making the resupply part of this process a lot faster. And on the flip side, if you want to make some extra money, make sure to sell all of these businesses in public lobbies with 20 or more people, because you will get a 50% high demand bonus, taking that $5 million total all the way up to $7.5 million. But of course, it does come with the risk of being griefed, so be careful with that. Anyways, that's going to be all for today's video. I hope this guide helped you out. If it did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.